Welcome to Biz Wire. I'm Joseph Nordstrom in Beijing. The G20 summit in St. Petersburg has ended with world leaders agreeing on tax issues and economic coordination, but not on the need for military action against Syria. The Syrian crisis overshadowed talks on the economy, which were described as difficult by participants. Leaders of the G20, which accounts for 90% of the world economy and two-thirds of its population, agreed to adjust policy carefully. Topics included sustainable development for all, a G20 action plan for growth and job creation, as well as measures to combat tax evasion. Chinese President Xi Jinping urged the World Trade Organization, or WTO, to play a bigger role in managing and expanding global trade. The Chinese president said a multilateral trade mechanism with the WTO at its core would lay the foundation for increased trade liberalization and facilitation, adding that the mechanism could not be replaced by any regional arrangement. Xi also said that China hopes the WTO will actively push the Doha round of global trade talks. The president said an open, fair, and transparent multilateral trade mechanism conforms to the common interests of all countries. Economics was supposed to be the focus of the talks, but what to do about Syria dominated the discussions. China's foreign ministry urged a role for the UN Security Council in resolving the crisis in Syria. However, U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Samantha Power, said she saw no viable path forward at the UN Security Council, as Russia and China each hold veto power. Power said Syrian President Bashar al-Assad had barely dented his stockpile of chemical weapons in last month's alleged attack that may have killed 1,500 civilians. Asked about those comments, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Hong Lei said the Security Council needed to be used. China has called for a full and impartial investigation by UN chemical weapons inspectors in Syria into the attack and has warned against prejudging the results. It has also said that whoever uses chemical weapons had to be held accountable. Aside from the back and forth on Syria, among the accomplishments from the summit are an agreement for international cooperation on tax fraud. Tax records will be shared around the world by 2015 as part of a G20 pledge to crack down on individuals and multinational corporations with complicated accounting arrangements aimed at paying as little tax as possible. Other notable events to come out of the G20 are when Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe and Chinese President Xi Jinping shook hands and exchanged words on the sidelines. Relations between the world's second and third largest economies have been troubled for at least a year because of disputes over territory in the East China Sea, known as the Senkaku in Japan and the Diaoyu in China. Abe has been trying to kickstart Japan's economy and is keen to improve ties and has called for dialogue with China. So far, China has shown no inclination to respond to the overtures. Xi reiterated China's position that Japan should correctly deal with such sensitive issues by facing up to its wartime aggression. Xi Jinping is now back on his tour of Central Asia and will attend a meeting of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization later this week in Bishkek. You're watching Biz Wire on the Blue Ocean Network. All of our stories can be seen on our website, BON.TV/biz-wire. In just a second, we'll continue with more insight into the big picture of China's economy.